Hi. Today's video we are just discussing about a multi-module project using a Spring or a Spring Boot. I will explain the code how we can do it. Uh, in this project, we are going to discuss multi-module project, how we can create it. You see here. First thing is the root project. We need to create a root project. I'll explain. There is a lot of verbose context here. I'm not going to explain that. You can read it later, but you can directly visit to spring.io guides multi-module project um, description. You can see that, but I'm explaining the things straightforward. You can see this project is available under this GitHub repository. You can download that if you want. Okay, you can see here. First thing is create a root project. So the root project is having two modules. One is library, other thing is the application module. So the context here is, in general, whenever we are creating an application, we will use some libraries, right? Some third-party libraries, or we may need to use some common code for application. Let's say I want to put some logging info because logging is a common for the complete project. So as well as some security related information or some other cross-cutting things, I want to put them all inside the library module, and I want to reuse that module inside my application. How can I do that? Okay, not only like this, see, you can create some common module whenever you are creating a project. In general, how do we do that? When we are creating enterprise application, we will pull out all the related common code, and we will put it inside some library, and we will use that library where and when it is required. Why we do that? Because we want to avoid the duplication of the code. We want to avoid duplication. We want to avoid uh, the complexity of the code, right? So we have to make sure that the code should be reusable wherever it is required. So for that, first you can create two libraries. So just a folders you can see here. First thing is we are going to create a library project. For the library project, you can see the project structure is src main java com example multi-module service. Under service, we will have some service class. Okay, and for this library project, you need to create a pom.xml if you are using Maven, right? You need to provide the group ID, what is the package name for it, and artifact ID. Artifact ID is the library project, and version is snapshot, and name is library, right? So this is how you are going to give some name for this project in pom.xml, because we will use this group ID, artifact ID, version in another project, in application project pom.xml, because we want to include this library as an artifact inside that project. I will explain how we do it. For now, you can see here, and then what are the required starter dependencies? You can Spring Boot starter and other things are there. The process is same for the old Spring framework as well. It is same, not only for Spring Boot. If you go to the Spring also, it would be same, more or less it would be the same. And the below one is, if you are using Gradle, you need to specify the dependencies in this way, but I will stick to the Maven project, build Maven, build library Maven. Okay, build tool, and after that you can see if it is Maven, you need to run that way, mv w star space dot mvn dot, you need to run that. and following listing shows the final pom.xml for library project. You can see the final pom.xml. Okay, this is the final form.xml. You can see here. Okay, now we created a library project. You can see the library project is there. So library project, what is that we are going to have inside the library project? We need to create a service class. So library project is going to have a my service class that can be used by the application project. So which is why we are going to do, we are going to create a service class. Here what we are doing, we're just auto wiring service properties. That's it. And there is a simple get method is the public string message return the service properties dot get message. We are getting some message just for testing purpose. Service properties are having it is having some message attribute. Okay, and now you can test it. You can write some unit test cases for it. You see, context loads assert that my service dot message is not null. We are just making sure some testing, and the library project is completed. Now we are going to create a application project. Okay, application project. What is the application project? I told you there are two modules. One is library module. Second thing is application module. Application module is the main module which internally uses the library. Imagine library is having a common code. The service class, whatever the service class that is defined inside the library, it is a common code. You want to reuse that library inside the application project. How do you do that? You can see here. For application directory structure, we have src main java com example multi-module application. Package name is application. And you see the group id is different here. Group id same here. com.xml. Artifact id different. Application, it is name is application. Earlier for library project, artifact id is library, and version is 0.01 snapshot. Okay, that is same. And you can actually include the required dependencies here. You see, you can actually include whatever the starter is required. You can include all the starters, whatever the starters are required there. And this is for Gradle. If you are using Gradle as a build tool, you can you need to specify the details like this. Here we so both the options are given. If you are using Maven build tool, you can go for a pom.xml, or if it is a Gradle, you can actually go for builded Gradle file. But the concept is same for both the things. Adding library dependency. You see here. Now I want to utilize my library project inside my application project. How do I do that? You need to add this particular dependency. You see, com.example dependency inside that group id com.xml artifact id library. Version is project $braces project dot version. You can see, and the following list show finished XML. So this one is the pom.xml. This is the application for application project. You can see here. Artifact id is application. You can see the name is application. So inside this pom.xml, we are going to specify this dependency. See, we specify dependency group id com.xml artifact id library. Version is the $brace project dot version. You can see here. We included that the project which we built earlier, right? That way, that particular dependency will be used in this project. So what is that there inside the library? There is a my service class. I can simply import that class into my application project. I can reuse it. So that way you can actually utilize the common code. Generally people will ask us, developers, they'll ask us, how do we utilize the common code? How do we create a, let's say there is a common code, I want to create a common library and I want to use that common library in multiple projects. How do we do that? See, this way you will do it. Once you create a module, you can use that module in any other module, right? In any other service also, if you want to do that, because you are creating a group ID and artifact ID. You are creating a new artifact with under a certain group ID, and you are going to use that particular group ID in dependency XML. Okay, and this is how now that dependency will be reusable in the application project. You can see, write the application main class. So for example, we want to write a main class for demo application, and here you see private final my service object. We are injecting, auto wiring it through constructor injection, you can see. But where is this my service class? How did we get it here? This my service class is there inside library project. You can see here we are importing com.xml multi-module service.myservice, right? You can see here. And now we are getting the @get mapping. You see here, public string home return my service dot message. Simple, right? So this is how we actually creating a multi-module project, and we are able to utilize a library into other application. You can see here. So that is how we do it, and I hope you understand this concept. Thank you for listening.